Christian joke that said, how many atheists does it take to change a light bulb? The number is irrelevant. They're forever in darkness. They'll never see the light. That was a bit harsh from a loving religion like Christianity, so I came up with a counter joke. It said, how do you get half the world to believe in God? You brainwash your children. Now, this was quite a harsh response, but I thought it was fair enough considering religious people try and put what they love onto other people. Other groups don't do this. Smokers don't really try and get other people to smoke. They do give crap excuses for smoking, like, it helps them relax. I don't really buy into that as such, because I've heard the best excuse for smoking there actually is. When I first got to university, I said to one of my friends, why do you actually smoke? And he said to me, to be honest with you, Curtis, it just makes me feel like a dragon. You can't argue with logic like that, really, can you? That is beyond reason. Another group I can tolerate, no problems with fat people. Fat people don't try and put what they love onto other people. In fact, I know many fat people that will take food off your plate for you. Cheeky is what it is. But, I do think some of them bring it on themselves. I was in High Cross Shopping Centre, many of you know High Cross got escalators, and top of the escalators there's there's a McDonald's. And she was quite a large lady, and she was stood there on the escalator going up, and I was behind her. She had a pram and a baby in a pram. For some reason, she didn't think that her baby could talk, because she said, where do you want to go for dinner? There was no response from the baby. She seemed to think it did reply. She said, where do you want to go for dinner? McDonald's, right, okay. I said, I'm pretty sure the baby didn't say anything, but, luckily she saved herself. She said, no, Mummy can't go to McDonald's, she's on a diet. And I thought that's great, because she was massive. Rotund done quite a bit of justice. She looked like Michelle McManus. If Michelle McManus had eaten Adele. After she'd eaten Rick Waller. She was quite big. That's the message to get from this. But she saved herself. She said, "No, Mummy's on a diet," and she carried on walking. And just as she got to McDonald's, I don't know if it was a smell that caught her. She was sort of pulled in, and seemed to think the baby was speaking again. She said, "What's that? You really want to go to McDonald's?" And in she went. Fat bitch. I'm fine with fat people, what are you about? But the religious groups don't do this. You get, Jehovah's Witnesses go door to door, like, knock, knock, knock. Hi there, do you believe in God? You're like, no. You don't? No, I don't. Oh, well, here's some scripture anyway. This is Luke verse 12. You're like, well, stop there, Mr. Jehovah, because you wouldn't like it if I put what I love onto you. What do I love? I'm quite partial to wanking. But I don't go door to door in Jehovah's households. Like, knock, knock, knock. Hi there. Do you like wanking? And they're like, not particularly. I say, what? You don't like it? No, we really don't. And I go, well, there's some jizz anyway. That's what I do. Now, it's not just Christians, it's not just Jehovah's. There are other religions that sort of worry me a bit. Muslims burn poppies on Remembrance Day, and this was quite out of order. But it's not all Muslims, it's only some of them. So, what I thought was worse about that was, because believe it or not, white people can actually be knobheads too. Some people forget that. And they created Facebook. So they created Facebook groups, like really inciting hatred towards Muslims, which is just ridiculous. Like, join this group on Facebook if you think all the Muslims should die, which was inciting hatred. But then there was other ones, a bit weirder. Join this group if you think all the Muslims should be pissed on by the Queen. Unrealistic. Now, I did see one particular comment on one of these Facebook groups. Now, I will warn you in advance, it's quite racist, but I'd like to find the fun in his stupidity rather than the racism. So he starts off on one of these Facebook groups. All right, mates. Quite light-hearted beginning. Great support for this group. He changes tack a little bit here, so he's gone quite a nice beginning to send all the packy bastards back. Now, I'm not sure that he'd be very happy if David Cameron took him up on the offer of that. because he's been quite specific in his request for Pakistani bastards. Now, if that was to be the case, it's quite, you know, the people that burnt the poppies weren't even from Pakistan. He's not well researched. Now, if David Cameron took him up on the offer, he'd still be left with all the black people, he'd still be left with Asians, etc., etc., etc. And unfortunately for him, he'd be left with Pakistanis who aren't bastards. He's not going to be really happy. Now, he says, again, we're not trying to laugh at the racism here. He says, for fuck's sake, it's unbelievable that these curry munchers could do this. Now, I'm not sure the fact that they eat curry, or munch it, as the case may be, has any bearing on the issue whatsoever, does it? You know? But, you know, now he really goes for it. He's talking about the Muslims, remember? They bummed the Twin Towers. Bummed it. It was a bit more than that, wasn't it? It was a jumbo jet. Now, I'm not sure it was those particular Muslims that burned the poppies that did 9/11, because the ones that did 9/11 are pretty dead, as it goes. But, you know, he goes on. Remember he's talking about the Muslims here, the idiot. He says, they bummed the Twin Towers, and... This is the Muslims, remember? They bombed the Twin Towers, and don't forget about Pearl Harbor. Yeah. Now, you've got to really wonder what sort of a guy this is. And I'd like to think I'm quite a left-wing thinking guy. I'd maybe like to think that it's not in his nature to be this evil, this idiotic. Maybe there's something in his upbringing that's caused it. And I went onto his Facebook profile, and it did become apparent that this might be the case. Because what some people do on Facebook, you get like a family section, you can sort of list your family, and some people are really funny. Sometimes I wonder why I'm doing stand-up comedy when people put their best friends as their mum on Facebook, because that is a stroke of genius. I mean, Bill Hicks and George Carlin did a lot for comedy, but they missed a trick with the old best friend as your mum. But, you know, he's got one of these family sections, and it says Kevin Jones, father. Fair enough. Robert Gilchrist, possible father, LOL. Now I'm starting to see why there might be a problem here. Remember that name, Robert Gilchrist. Further down the list, Robert Gilchrist, uncle. Bob's his uncle and his dad. Possibly. LOL. Now, I can understand why people do this, but it's really quite stupid, really. Sometimes I think religion's quite a cause of problem. And sometimes I wish God would just come down from the heavens and say, guys, Muslims, Christians, Hindus, Jews, stop fighting over me. I don't exist. It would solve a lot of problems. But there is one group that I really don't mind, and that is Buddhists, and that's because you've never seen extreme Buddhists, do you? You've never seen extreme Buddhists like, I'm fucking well relaxed. It doesn't happen, nor will you ever see a murdering Buddhist. You'll never turn on the news and see, you know, a Buddhist has just murdered somebody. But if you did ever see that a Buddhist had murdered somebody, you can be pretty sure it'd be premeditated. Thank you very much.